resource constraints. So 1/3 are not enrolled. What about the rest? The rest who go to school and are enrolled, about 30 to 40% of these enrolled children, they leave the school before completion of primary education and join the lot of illiterates in the country. So already we are lacking behind because 1/3 of the children are not enrolled for primary school education. Those who are enrolled, about 30 to 40%, according to the report, it says that these children who are enrolled, they leave the school before they complete the primary education. And where will they go? They will also go to the same pool of illiterates where children are not getting education and they are not enrolled in the school. So that means the number of illiterates is going to increase in that capacity. Due to resource constraints, the government has been mainly focusing on opening of new schools and appointing additional teachers. So, because the resources are less, the constraints are more, then the government is actually focusing on opening new schools, and they are hiring new teachers, additional teachers. But what is it having an effect on the enrollment of the students or the continuation of the education of those students who are already enrolled in primary schools? The government has not been able to focus on that issue because they are opening new schools and hiring additional teachers in order to have more schools in the areas. Expansion of access to schooling, including construction of school buildings and the provision of missing facilities in the existing schools are certainly a priority. So, what are the priorities that should be considered? Expansion of access to schools. So, how will children make their access to school? How would they reach school? How would they come to know there is a school at some distance, say 5 kilometers or 10 kilometers distance? How would they come to know about it? How would the parents understand that this should be a priority, that the children should be going to school? So this type of an expansion of access to schooling, knowing where the school is, how much would it cost? How much would it cost to travel and reach the school? What transport would be available to reach the school? Including construction of school buildings. So not only expansion of these resources to access the schools, but also the construction of school buildings is important so that the students, they have a proper school building. Also, another priority for the government is the provision of missing facilities in the existing schools. The existing schools which are already there, the buildings are there, the teachers are already hired, but they do not have the facilities of clean water, they do not have sanitation facilities, they do not have proper classrooms, or maybe they do not even have specialized teachers. So all these things which are very important, the government has a priority to make for all these missing facilities and provide the schools with all these facilities so that the schools can run smoothly and provide education to the students. So there are so many concerns the government has to take care of, and also with that there are some resource constraints that the government is facing because of the population being large. More and more schools are required, and when the schools are required, then all these facilities are also required. So the government has to balance between the constraint that it faces and also to provide the resources to the schools in order to have healthy education and hygienic conditions and environment for the students to study.